Exhausted but satisfied, I returned to the expo grounds. It was good to be back. We would prepare for our next expeditions after all the riches that we had gained. We went to the Royal Avalon Society. Vivian Farlow smiled in welcome. I looked around what we could now acquire. A lot of things for combat, apparently. But nothing else. So we rather looked around for our best friend, the Shady Dealer. Wanted to see his items. But found really nothing spectacular. Spent some time looking at our people. But decided against significant changes. So we looked for a new expedition. Could find the rainbow orchid, something that we had done already, a sealed pyramid or a buried pyramid. A grand temple of gold had long ago been swallowed by the earth, but legends told of a way to raise it once more. On a prehistoric island, that was maybe the challenge we were looking for. The Royal Avalon Society would sponsor us again. It was my last night in Paris, and I decided to celebrate over drinks. This evening a suave veteran of the French Foreign Legion approached me. He had heard that we planned to leave Paris tomorrow. Presented himself as a mercenary and offered to join us for an expedition. He would need to be paid up front. Asked for a lot, but assured me he was worth it. He was an imperialist, though. Not sure how we could react to that. Uncivilized cultures. Seeing that we worked a lot with the natives, we refused. I told him I was not interested. He lowered his price drastically. Was he desperate to leave Paris? No, there's something fishy going on. Told the Suave that I didn't need any help and I would like to enjoy my last evening at the tavern in peace. Upset, he went to get a drink instead. Occasionally he would throw nervous glances around the crowd in a tavern. Adventure awaits. Yeah, he would probably have robbed us. Just like Emery Durand, we were scarred from an incident. As I neared the site of the expedition, a small supply ship pulled alongside. I was grateful to the Royal Avalon Society for providing me with funds and equipment. And our ship, enhanced by the Polycow, was nearly ready. We looked around to see. It was good. Oh, we could get the Water of Legend. Rumored to come from the Isle of Avalon itself, drastically reduced the travel cost of a next trip. Ooh. And some dangerous chakrams we'd like to acquire, for trade at least. Then we needed something to drink and eat. And heal. Well, we got something to heal at least. Some tea would be good, and a granular bar. Or rather a couple. Would help us out massively. It was a done deal. We would go to uncover the buried pyramid. The question was, should we maybe acquire something again? We had no money anymore. Shovel would have come in handy, but oh well. We would begin the expedition. The Royal Avalon Society had heard a tale of a great golden pyramid that had long ago sunk into the earth. Legend told that it could be raised once more by finding and activating the golden seals that were constructed nearby. We sailed on, with a nice breeze that drove us to a mountainous island. Forgotten lands. But no longer forgotten, hopefully. We went on to march through the jungle. We found a shrine. We sent Joby to find something for us in the shrine, maybe. And we got 2 crystals. Good dog. We approached the shrine. The temple before us warranted both fear and respect. Effigies of human forms hung from nearby trees, their mouths sewn shut as if to silence them. We would enter the shrine and search for its secrets. Pressing a suspicious stone, a hidden mechanism raised the golden sarcophagus from a recess hidden beneath the floor. We opened it. Precious jewels and a mysterious mummy were there. We took it all with us and entered the altar chamber to investigate the altar. A golden hand and a golden coral were there. Beautiful, but too risky to take. We left. There was much more to discover. We would have to decide to go further south or north, and we decided to go south first. As quickly as we could. We suffered a bit, but hopefully... Oh! And we had found a strange portal. Maybe that would lead us to something. A light swirling as its center. We would enter the portal, stepped into another unusual landscape. We returned to the strange realm underground to meet with some rather special people. There was the Duke again. There were also things hidden from us. With some tea, everything would go better. We found strange pools that were not at all inviting. But what was inviting were the people that had waited for us. Apparently. The islanders. It seemed to be some kind of priest, for the pale mask greeted us to their lands. The priest kept its hollow eyes focused on me as it told us that it expected our trek to develop a very close relationship to its tribe. They were friendly words, but there was something hollow about the way they emanated from behind the mask which made me shudder. Nevertheless, the priest insisted on granting us a gift to mark the beginning of such a close relationship. We asked them about the tribe. Delicately I inquired. They told me of their life as herders. They cared for their animals, and the animals in turn provided the milk, meat, and hides necessary for survival. The islanders went on their way, speaking of herds that needed tending. And we had found another shrine in this underground I spied large jagged boulders, like the peaks of mountains ready to erupt from the earth. We went to search for secrets or traps, and failed miserably. Moments after I began my search, I felt a flagstone sink. I had triggered a trap. Large stones began to fall from the ceiling. We would try to dodge them. And thankfully we made it. I moved quickly and escaped. Entered the altar chamber and investigated the altar. Seeing a beautiful emerald falcon. Oh, so much. And we would return to the entry chamber and leave from this place. Focusing more on exploration rather than anything else. There were jellyfish here, but we were not interested in talking to them. Ate some of our beautiful purple jelly. Made our way further to more undiscovered places. Where we found yet another portal. Which we entered. We stepped out of the portal. I soon recognized the terrain around us. We had made it back. I let out a sigh of relief. Although I knew we could not rest for long, we still had an expedition to finish. We went on. And found a village. The Islanders. Greeted us warmly at first, but reacted with righteous anger when they saw Amarkaur and Homie together. To them it was an abomination that men and women would be friends with one another. They would not tolerate such heresy. We could not calm the villagers. Strange, strange people. Then we left. Our friends were more important to us. And my love decided to learn more. We went onward as we'd heard from a wandering trader around these parts. Trader, though, was fickle and had maybe disappeared. It was time to drink some tea and go after him. The man groaned beneath the weight of a heavy pack containing his wares and presented us with a selection. Some very beautiful items with him. And useful too. He would be happy to buy the mummy. But we were eager to sell him the chakram that we didn't have any good use for. Instead, we would take torches. That would help us massively. And maybe some chocolate was also not too bad. We paid in chakrams, as if they were some kind of currency. And I ventured into the wilderness once more. He had told us of another trader that was quite close, near sulphurous things, and near a famed sinking shrine. We went to find the shrine quickly. Ate some jelly and approached the shrine as first thing Before it would disappear, the shrine loomed ahead, crumbling stairs winding around the ancient tower. Tendrils of a dark purple fog swirled about, much like the mysterious mists that surrounded the island. We climbed the tower. It was treacherous, but I managed to reach the entrance near the top of the tower. Inside was a small, shadowy chamber. A long hallway led to the altar room ahead. I'd have to be careful of traps here. We used the torque to avoid them. Beneath some debris, I discovered a hidden trapdoor in the floor. Opening it, I saw a second gloomy chamber beneath this hole. We entered it. And we found an arcanist's workshop. It was in there. Some beetle nuts. Ah, it was better than nothing. We then left. On the other hand, we should maybe look into the thing again. Maybe we could find a trace about the strange pyramid. We investigated. Found a strange polycow dagger and a deep-sea fish lantern. But nothing that would help us with our quest. So we returned to the entry chamber. And went on to find the trader that we had been told of. Our wounds, though, were infected. Amarkaur was in danger. Would have to heal her. Then talk to the trader. Among some strange mushrooms, we met with him and looked around at what he had. He had some shovels, something that we had forgotten to take with us. And a beautiful campsite that we had also forgotten to take with us. Was also eager to buy the mummy, but we gave him chakrams instead. First aid kit was also very tempting. Along with... Did we have time for a treasure map? Probably not. But we could maybe take... some more shovels and beetle nuts with us. Even more, and more, and more. Wow. Our love was so good at negotiating these times. It was crazy. Some torches would also come in handy. Instead we left some other things. Wow, the torches were extremely expensive. Compared, but we would need something useful. Maybe not a collection of jewels, because the jewels was also what he wanted to buy. We would try our luck with a treasure map. And ventured into the wilderness once more. We took a look. Where was that? It could have been nearby. Yeah, we had encountered many mushrooms. Mushrooms near a sulfur pool. We thought and thought if we had encountered something like that before. Tar as well. We recognized the place. It was actually nearby. Quickly we would go there and hopefully find what we were seeking. After many exhaustive hours and a broken shovel, we excavated an interesting artifact. A beautiful golden coral. Oh, I would take it. We admired the marvelous coral that we had gotten. Oh. The volcano had started to erupt, though. The question is how we would make it through that. Most probably it wasn't a good idea to make it through that. We drank some tea. And looked for some granola bars. Then we went further. To the seas. Well, not to the seas. Through the grasslands that also had started to burn a bit. We had found a golden seal and approached it. A control panel on the side seemed designed to set the thing in motion. We would activate the seal. After many hours of research, we were able to decipher the ancient mechanism. The last button was pressed, a great column of light shot up from the seal. But we had to find more seals to keep going. It was time for some tea and granola bars. I had been told that something else was hidden there. In a mountain, not far away. Stopped and approached a waterfall. Yes, it was time for a good rest. Why not approach the waterfall and heal a bit? I would rest. Nevertheless, Amarkaur and Homie seemed to be in a good mood. They asked me if I could use some of our chocolate rations to make cups of hot chocolate. I hesitated before giving my answer. Yeah, we gave them chocolate. Thanking me, they took the chocolate and began their preparations. I watched indulgently, happy to see my crew enjoy a bit of luxury in the midst of hardship. Long after they prepared cups of steaming hot chocolate for each of us, I sipped carefully, warmth filling my body, as I settled down with a comforting beverage. So good. Just the best in the rain. Prepared for departure, I knew we would miss this place. It was truly beautiful. Nevertheless, we went on to other unexplored places. Hurting a bit, still. We had to move. If our people was infected. The wilderness was nearly impossible to prevent an injury from becoming infected. Amarkaur's wound had begun to fester and weep pus. We had to heal her. Was a dinosaur trapper nearby? We were not interested in that. Maybe, though, there was a bit of trade to be had, so we went in and visited. Different interesting things, among them a little bit of meat, but nothing super special. We took the meat and thanked them. Using our excellent grilling skills. Come up with more. Then we went forward. Over the lava. To another strange place. Where we met some more islanders even. Seemed to be very agitated. Their companion had fallen down a hole. They could not get her out. We had no rope, but we would still try to help. Chances were good. And with combined forces we were able to pull up the beleaguered woman. The islanders thanked me with exuberance and wished me further safe travels. Bottom of the pit, something lay gleaming. The islander had fallen into a treasure trove. We shared the valuables before we went our separate ways. We had found a Balikao dagger. Wow. Crazy. That was something truly mysterious and special. What more, though, we wanted to find? We were not sure. We marched forward a bit to see more of our surroundings. And indeed, there was something to be seen there, hidden beyond chasms. We drank some water of legend. Ate a granola bar and went forward. Oh. Through a very strange path, apparently. Nevertheless, though, we made and made and made forward, meeting yet other islanders. They were picking fruits from tall trees. They weren't fine spirits and greeted me gladly as I arrived. I marveled at how adroitly they scaled the trees, seeming to have no thought for the danger. When I mentioned it, they laughed at my fear, inviting me to give it a try. Yeah, we would try that. Why not? I climbed the tree skillfully, my natural athletic abilities holding me in good stead. The islanders cheered from below, and I kept a few pieces of fruit for my troubles. Just the thing we needed. We had discovered their village, too. And approached it. On my arrival, an islander informed me that no weapons were allowed. They offered to bury my weapons nearby so I could pick them up again when I left. Wow, these people are so special. We would agree to that. They took my weapons and sent them off to be buried somewhere near the village. I could use a shovel to dig them up again once I left the village, and we would get shovels from them. As the wind died down, the sickening smell of the strange growths became almost overpowering. We would trade first. See what we could get, or what they would need, too. We were looking for food, but maybe some torches were also something good to have. They would just give us the torches. We would go to meet with a ruler. As I entered the hut, the chieftain was embroiled in a heated argument. Their advisors, I stayed silent, working nervously until the abomination finished. After a moment they noticed my presence, and all eyes fell on me. I swallowed and quietly introduced myself. I could feel tension in the air. I was allowed to make one request. We would learn about the tribe. Ask permission to spend the evening interviewing the tribe in order to learn more about these people. After careful consideration, it was granted. Spend that night probing the village with my questions and learn much. An islander explained that they followed the way of peace. Where others used warriors, they trained arbiters, specialists in resolving conflict without resorting to violence. My inquiries complete, I returned and gave my thanks to the chieftain Abomination. The following morning, I thanked the ruler for their time and made my exit. I emerged from the hut, blinking rapidly as my eyes adjusted to the light outside. We would rest in the village. That night the villagers held a ritual ceremony. They offered us a bowl of boiled flesh that smelled of pork, but most certainly was not. We would eat it. I did not want to offend the islanders, and so ate from the bowl. There was something disturbing about the flavor that I couldn't place. It was certainly an experience to remember. We got some good rest in from the village. We would certainly need it. I recovered from nearly a week. They were not really... They were simply staring at me, refusing to talk. We would rest again. From a village I learned that this tribe was made up of many different families who came together during a time of confusion, when islands were ripped apart. I pondered the tale I had heard. Perhaps there was some truth in this legend. Slept well this time. Covered in the village for nearly a week. While they said nothing, it was clear that the villagers seemed somewhat disappointed in my stay, and we left then. I still had to recover our weapons. But from where? There was a marked spot the map that we had to approach. Well, it had to be done. Unfortunately, it was covered with mushrooms, but well. We would dig and recovered our weaponry. Now it was time to go again, but where? Certainly time to visit that old camp that we had seen. We would use our Water of Legend again to get there in time. Plants, thankfully, were no trouble for us. Sulfur, though, was burning. Ooh. Approached the camp. And we would search it with the help of a torch. Stopped the trek to begin a thorough search of the camp. It wasn't much, but I managed to discover something worthwhile. 2 beetle nuts. Better than nothing. It's time to send out Joby to the nice jungles to see what they would find. And we were rewarded with 2 beautiful lemons. They were bitter, but they would be a help if we would get in trouble. Nearby were some butterflies, we were told. So we went to capture them. Amarkaur's glorious mild dragonflies. We're curious about things further north and decided to go a little bit further. We indeed had found something strange, a shrine. We were near it, but had to be very careful because a strange rock bird was nearby. We stood before a temple of volcanoes and searched for its secrets in the forechamber. Successfully. As I ran my hand over the rough surface of a wall, a string of arcane rules flared to life, seeming to carve themselves into the stone before my eyes. I studied the writing, my mind becoming strangely focused. I found myself speaking words I've never heard before, chanting their strange song against my will. Lost consciousness briefly. I came to an inner glow suffused my being. We entered the altar chamber and investigated the altar, though. Further away, we saw a sinking shrine. There was also a place where we could maybe dig. We didn't want to do that. There was a giant bird nearby. We had to march to the shrine, even though it was surrounded by darkness. To risk it. Eating some lemon helped, as well as some chocolate. We were in a tough spot, yet we had to travel. Luckily, the bird stepped away. It was approaching, though. We traveled to the sinking shrine, seeing that the bird had set us under his attack. We attacked it back. Combat. What a bird that was. Wow. What would we do with him, to him? First we protected ourselves. Then we went on to strike. The beast was stunned. Unlucky. We took our time. We were strong. The bird as well. Attacking with relentless force. We had to protect ourselves. Strike him down. I scored the battlefield for anything of value. We found a beautiful feather and some raw meat that we cooked instantly. Before we approached the sinking shrine. Shrine loomed ahead, crumbling stairs winding around the ancient tower. The structure was slightly tilted and subsiding. The ground seemed as if it could open into a gaping chasm at any moment. The climb was treacherous. I managed to reach the entrance near the top of the tower. The inside was a small, damp chamber. A long hallway led to the altar room ahead. My eyes flitted to and fro, searching for traps with the help of a torch. We managed to search effectively. I noticed that one section echoed with a hollow resonance. Upon inspection, I found a subtle slab door leading to a second chamber. Took all of my strength, but I managed to move the great slab to one side, wiping sweat from my brow. I cautiously entered the small doorway. I entered a small room adorned with religious implements. Looking through the ceremonial ornaments, I noticed something that seemed to hold real value. Oh, a jeweled scepter and a tribal artifact. I stuffed my plundered treasure into a satchel and returned to the entry chamber. Then we went to the altar chamber and found things that would not belong to us. We left the shrine, looked at the tribal artifact, and decided to go further, but where? There was something hidden. Sent out Joby to find something maybe to eat for us. Trufflehog dug something up. Really terrible red maggots. No, 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 no. What would we do? I would eat some chocolate. Then travel forward. To a number of great beasts that lay ahead. Traveled along, hoping they would not notice. We became infected. Amma. We had to heal her. The Pteranodon was approaching, and we had to attack. There were two of the beasts. Rite of pain was what we needed to stop them in their tracks. Some protection. Some beautiful Kirpan strikes. Open the way. We hoped this would suffice. No! It was close. Their death dives made our life hell. But we went onward. Staying strong. Struck one of the beasts down. Then the other. Oxley would protect us. And the vicious claws of the pteranodons. Try to heal a bit. Then hacked away. We checked it for valuables and found some raw meat and nice pteranodon skulls that we left, though, behind. Ate some meat, then approached the stone statue. Discovered a meticulously carved idol, a grotesque face that towered above me. It was a disconcerting sight, but I noticed the collection of offerings that had been placed here. Oh. Things to eat. We had to risk this. We would take it. Ate the forbidden fruit and the jelly to keep us spry and active. Something had to stay here, but what? 2 shovels we left on the ground. We had to go further and find out more. We're hurting a bit. Then something attacked us. A group of 5 raptors. Was this our end? Amarkaur was bleeding. We tried to heal. Then we wanted to make them pay. Someone had to burn. We hoped for the best. Alas, nothing came of it. The beasts focused. Would we even survive? Healed ourselves. Alas, nearly nothing came of it. No! We hit the wrong one. Would this be our end? We had to focus on shielding the herd. Miss Oxley was nearly down. She was suffering hard. And we had to do what we could. But nothing came of it. The raptors had to die. But how would we manage that? Not Catley! This would probably be the end for our expedition, if no wonder was yet there to reach for us. The beetle nuts didn't help. We brought down another raptor. Hit out on the enemies. Desperate. Dying. Was 3 versus 3. Nothing came of the beetle nuts. we could stun one of them. All was not over, but it was close. Try to stun. Another beast was down. Heavily wounded. We weighed our options. Protection. And stunning the enemy would help massively. Heavy Kerpen strike. We made a start. Then slashed them down to oblivion. I checked the dead for valuables. We were heavily wounded. We want to take it all. Eat the meat. Then proceed to the stone disc. Came across an ancient disc of carved stone embedded in the ground. Something about its strange markings made a nervous thrill run along my spine. We would analyze the markings. Oh. It was hard to find something more. We're really curious about the part over here. Oh no! The buried pyramid was up far away. Well, the only friendly thing we could muster was that there was a trader nearby. We had to meet the trader and do our best. We approached him. He hesitated, though. We would try to buy another campsite. He was in for the Raptor Heights, thankfully. So, that was what we presented him with. And a giant feather to boot, my friend. A giant feather to boot. I ventured into the wilderness once more. Where, though? Where? We knew where we had to go at the end of times. It was far away to the buried pyramid. At first, we had to open it. Many strange things were hidden. Maybe waterfalls. Maybe other things. We returned to our trek. Something was there, a strange waterfall. We looked who could learn more. We would have to deal with the fog again. So we taught Homie something. There was a waterfall in the mountains, the perfect place to rest. The air was fresh. It was a smotheringly hot evening. After a time, Homie stretched his back, prepared to enter the fresh, clear water. He looked back, inviting us to join him. I wasn't quite in the mood, but Kezia Young was eager to join, clearly happy for an escape from the oppressive heat. From my position on the shore, I watched them indulgently as they splashed and laughed in the water. Watching them relax put me in good spirits. In time, they climbed out of the water and prepared for the night, chattering together like magpies, till they fell asleep at last. I needed that. Oh, some good day's rest. Prepared for the departure, I knew we would miss the rumbling of the falling water, the natural beauty of the waterfall. But there was more to explore. More to the east. We saw another trader that could maybe help us on our path. Continued to survive and presented us the selection of his things, but nothing helpful came of it. We ventured into the wilderness once more. We went to meet the islanders again, see if they could maybe help. They greeted me formally. Seemed reluctant at first to share what they knew. However, after some cajoling, they agreed to trade for directions to a nearby shrine. Yes, we would do that. They would like the purple jelly. Of course they would like it. And we would like to keep that too. What else were we able to give them though? What else? Maybe crystal... Yeah, crystal splinters. Not so much. Shovels. Satisfied with the trade, they gave careful instructions on how to reach the location. We thanked them and went on our way. Huh. Further on, though, we had to go. Ate some of the jelly. Help us along. Healing springs would be what we would need. We went further into the direction. A strange bird. We're still covered in tar. To the jungle we went, avoiding the bird. Oh, infections ravaged our party. Saw from afar, though, the healing springs. We knew where we had to go. Reached a place of outstanding natural splendor. The water tasted salty, with steam gently rising from its surface. We halted. Tommy and Kizu Young were getting closer to each other every day. It was good to see the spirit of companionship. They had collected colorful stones during our travels, intended to craft something with them. For what I understood, it would be some sort of wristband to symbolize their friendship. A short time later, they were proudly displaying their new bracelets, seeming quite content. They gifted me their unused stones, which would surely prove useful in the days ahead. Colorful, colorful marbles. Waters of the springs healed even the smallest of afflictions. Water sparkled in the morning light. We were saved, at least a bit. But there was something new that would hit. Ouch. Fascinating plants. We should run, yes indeed. There was something to be done. A cave. Oh, that disappeared before our eyes. Could travel there, but alas, it had disappeared. Was there something, anything left? Not something we could see. It seemed like this time we were done for. We went further, hoping for the best. We asked the islanders. They seemed to be very agitated, and we helped the islanders as one of them had fallen down a hole and could not get out. It was easy, of course, to help them. With combined forces we were able to pull up the beleaguered woman. The islanders thanked me with exuberance and wished me further safe travels. Then we approached the strange shrine. Could hear the gurgle of slow-moving magma nearby. We searched for secrets in the lost chamber and found nothing but a trap. I had triggered a trap. A pedestal went here. We wanted to solve the puzzle But alas, it didn't work. Shaking from the pressure, I made a false move. Instantly the board turned black and a roaring sound filled my ears. As flames filled the room from hidden nozzles. We entered the altar chamber and investigated. We only found a golden hand that we left behind. We wouldn't need more trouble. Away. Away we went, but where? Nothing that we saw could help us on our way. We had to go further north to uncover something that would maybe, just maybe, help us on our way. There was a stone circle nearby. Entered the circle, I felt a wave of peace come over me. This was a place of knowledge, but I'd already discovered what it had to offer. We went forward through the dark, dark mist and found another one of the seals. We approached and activated the seal. As the last button was pressed, a great column of light shot up from the seal. We would have to find more, though. And only through making rest could we do that. We sent out Homie to find something for us. Red maggots. We had to rest. We had to rest. An extended rest. Everything was bleak. Late at night I was awakened by deafening, frightening screams cutting through the dark. I recognized Homie's voice and rushed to his side. Homie lay rigid, his eyes wide open in terror. I tried to speak to him, but he only babbled fearful nonsense in reply. I tried to help, but alas, no. Shook him as hard as I could, but nothing came of it. He kept screaming until finally his voice gave out. He fell asleep in the early morning hours. He had become paranoid. We had to rest again. I was enjoying the pleasant warmth of the campfire when Amako approached me with a smile on her face. She produced a tattered journal. I was astounded to find that it contained a detailed description of the flora and fauna we'd encountered on our journey. Truly, Amako had benefited from her experiences on this expedition. Stretching, I looked out the tent flap at the new day. Extended rest in this camp had done me good. I packed up the camp. It was time to move once more. Where, though? Where? There was only a few places we could still go. Through the sulfur and mist, we found something. Something mysterious. We were, though, infected. Kezia Young. I had to approach the golden seal and activate it as quickly as we could. I heard a great rumbling in the distance and the earth shook beneath my feet. And one task remaining. Make my way to the Great Pyramid and discover the wonders that led inside. We had to rest, otherwise we would not make it. We approached the camp. And rested. The more I spent traveling these lands, the more I seemed to recognize certain signs. It seems that the shrines were surrounded by smaller stone structures. One could still see their remnants. Stretching, I looked out the tent flap at the new day. It was good to have a roof over my head. We looked around. Amar Kaur. We had to heal her. We couldn't do it. We'd pack up the camp this time. It was time to move. We healed Kezia Young. We ate all the chocolate we still had and drank the water of legend. Then we moved through the dangers and mists. We didn't know where we could go. We didn't know where our path would lead us. It burned. We went through the mists with the help of Homie, and finally approached the unearthed pyramid. The Great Golden Pyramid had clearly been built by the Palikao. Though ravaged by time, the fineness of the work was still clear to see. The halls of the pyramid were empty, but engraved symbols of warning on the walls would keep archaeologists busy for years to come. We hurried back to Paris. We had escaped the mists. Returned all the provisions, the treasures we had found, the wonders we had encountered, the crystals we had collected. Went on to become a good mountaineer. Malin pulled me into her office as I returned from my expedition, demanding to know what I had uncovered. Flustered, I told her of my travels, confessing that I was no closer to uncovering the secrets of the being engine. After several pointed questions, she accepted that I had in fact found nothing new to help her. Gesturing impatiently, she sent me out of the office. I exited into the tavern's main room. I could only hope I would find more answers on my next expedition. Here I close the diary for now. Thank you for watching and happy gaming to you. We'll see each other in the next expedition. Have a great time until then, and happy gaming.